Do you hear that? On the beach, continue the trail. There are times in certain days of the year when you cannot pass through the Lost Coast Trail at all due to high tides.
I want to give you guys an ornament. You guys pick one out.
That's so nice. Right there on the north coast of California.
Perfect.
Yeah.
See how it takes a sharp turn inland?
So Squeaks and I are on the northernmost section of the Lost Coast Trail. We're at the northern end of the King Range National Conservation Area. This is where people hike along the Lost Coast Trail, and this is the section that they need to time with the tides. And on certain days, it's completely impassable, and you can't hike through at all because the tides are so high. There's no poopers, no scoopers, no boopers, no bing bongs, no long hairs, no dogs. Squeaks is allowed on this section of the trail, but any four-legged or two-legged hikers need a permit, either from the visitor center office with a walk-in permit or an online reservation ahead of time. It's a 25-mile section, so it should take several days of hiking. Here at the northern section, it's very exposed on the coast, and these afternoon winds really are whipping at us. So if you're going to hike it, definitely plan ahead and bring all the right gear.
Crazy, bro.
Who are you calling crazy?
You, Sonali, and Squeaks.
What?
You guys walk barefoot everywhere.
Ow, I'm stepping on the...
You just walked through all of that.
I don't like that.
Oh my God, bro.
Squeaks and I love hiking barefoot, but oh my, we stepped on the wrong plant. Got all these little thorns in our feet. How about you, Squeaks? You need me to pull any thorns out? Oh. All right, got all the thorns out. Let's keep hiking, Squeaks. How about you? Can I see your pulse? Good. Good boy. How about this one? Good boy. Okay, no more thorns. Just because we're on a beautiful beach in California doesn't mean we can go surfing. These North Coast beaches have sneaker waves that can pull you out to sea. Those are some nasty white caps. I wouldn't even go in this ocean if I had a ship. So we are on the northernmost section of the Lost Coast Trail now. We're in the King Range National Conservance Area on the northernmost section of the Lost Coast Trail. So from here, if you can imagine hiking all the way down the beach, only cutting inland to get around the beach, continue the trail. There are times in certain days of the year when you cannot pass through the Lost Coast Trail at all due to high tides. Do you hear that? And we started walking north because we heard barking. Squeaks hears it. Barking, not like a dog, more like a seal. I saw a sign that said elephant seals are in this area. See if we can find any. Come on, baby. Look at this big piece of driftwood. It looks like it's got a rib bone sticking out of it. Whew, I stepped on those spiky things again. Wow, look at this nice driftwood bench here. Squeak! Yep. Come here, baby. Gaboo. Gaboo. I hear them getting closer, but I still can't see any seals yet. I don't know how close we can get on this beach. There's sort of a sandbar, so maybe we can walk up the sandbar to the other end of the lagoon. See if we can see elephant seals there. Oogie boo! The funny thing about these rocky sandbars is that every stone is amazing. Every single one you pick up. Wash smooth, has a funny little bit of color contrast and color formation somewhere on it. These stripes, smooth stones, they look unnaturally smooth. And this one even has crystals in it. It's shining and glinting a bit in the sun. It's called the shark fin sandwich rock formation. They're very unusual, and they're only found on this section of the north coast. This is a rare geologic formation in which the rocks take the form of a sofa or an ancient sofa that the prehistoric dogs would use to sit on. It's called a shark fin sandwich rock formation because it looks like a shark fin coming out of the sand, but it also looks like a sandwich. And an ancient prehistoric dog chair, dog sofa. These were actually used by the prehistoric dogs as sofas. And that's why there's not as many of them anymore, and they're very hard to find and very rare because the dogs used them all. And the dogs sat on them until they weren't until they become the beach sand. I don't hear any more barking. From here, the elephant seals behind me look the same as the elk did yesterday on the other section of the Lost Coast. They're just massive balls of tan and brown fur, and if we're close enough to see them, then we're probably close enough that Squeaks and I should turn away from them. Just yesterday, we were as far south as one can go on the Lost Coast Trail with a dog, because that's when we encountered the elk on the Sinkyone Wilderness section yesterday. Here we're encountering elephant seals on the King Range National Conservation Area today. You mix a beautiful confluence of the different elements at this area. Geologic activity off the coast where three tectonic plates meet, that causes sheer vertical cliffs to erupt out of the Pacific Ocean. It's a unique area of the California coast. Elk meet elephant seals on the beach, and pelicans meet redwood trees on the vertical cliffs above the Pacific Ocean. What did you find, buddy? A shell or a bone? It's not letting me anywhere near it. Come on, buddy. It's a hoof. Couldn't think of anything else it would be. Definitely it's from an animal. Smells like it. Squeaks likes it. Land and sea, fresh water and salt water, warm inland air and cool coastal air, and life and death. What was a forest of trees is now crushed driftwood. Right here I see a microcosm of the bigger landscape of the Lost Coast. So here there's this inlet of salt water and some fresh water mixed. There's this pile of driftwood, just like a little fractal version of the big driftwood pile we saw earlier up the coast. These rocks erode heavily, and you can see, just like you wouldn't build a Highway 1 along the Lost Coast Ridge above us there, this little sandbar, you can see how eroded it is, and during a storm these cliff sides just shear right off. It is actually even worse after logging. This entire mouth of this river fills up with this sediment that's being washed out, these river rocks. And you look up and I see the entire landscape mirrored above on the large scale. See, he's eroding the cliffside.
Paul, hey, Sparks. Great meeting you. Thanks for your time. When people say Lost Coast, what are they usually talking about?
Largely where Highway 1,
Uh-huh.
see how it takes a
Right.
sharp turn inland?
Yep.
From that region, probably up to like Cape Mendocino, roughly.
Uh-huh.
So,
And so a lot of people I've met, when you tell them about Lost Coast, they think, oh, Lost Coast Trail, that trail where you have to, time the tides when you're doing the backpacking trip.
mm-hmm.
And so what about that Lost Coast Trail?
The section that BLM manages here
Uh-huh.
at the King Range, it's
Uh-huh.
from Atoll, Campground,
Uh-huh.
Trailhead, and then south about 25 miles. to
25 miles.
Black Sands Beach. And then you can pick it up again at Hidden
Uh-huh.
Valley
Right.
and then hike south down to the state park.
A permit's required for hiking the trail, isn't it?
Yep.
And
Yep, and that's issued through recreation.gov.
so is that reservation only?
Yeah.
If you want to hike, so you can't just show up and hike the trail?
We do have 3 walk-up permits.
There are walk-up
Available
permits.
each day.
Where are those issued?
Right here.
Are there any left today?
2.
There's 2 left.
Perfect.
Yeah. There's 2
Yeah.
left today. Well, we're not geared for 25 miles of backpacking. What if we just want to go a little south of the lighthouse for the day
Mm-hmm.
and then hike back? Do we need a permit for that?
Nope, not for days.
There might be some days where the tide is actually too high and you can't.
Yes. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
several, actually.
Uh-huh.
We have it all planned out because the tides are predictable.
Right.
So they have it all planned out throughout
Uh-huh.
the year. The
So there's
impassable
some days impassable.
Yeah.
So
Because it's too high. We have a whole guide on how to navigate the Lost Coast Trail with the
Oh,
tides.
wow.
So you guys should check that
Oh,
out as well.
amazing, brother.
Yeah. And let me get you guys a tide chart too.
Actually, I did grab a tide chart.
You did?
Yeah, from the last spot we were.
You get like this one?
Actually, that one looks even, maybe it
Yeah,
looks even
brother.
better.
Get,
Let's get the
get it from
Alright,
Paul.
sweet.
So I was reading the 2024 map.
Oh,
We
okay.
grabbed the wrong year. So that's why
Hey.
that was off here.
Shit, well, I'm glad you came by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you hike the Lost Coast Trail, make sure your tide chart is for the correct year. A last year's tide chart will not work. What about geologically? How would you describe this area? Is there any interesting geology
it
on the
is
Lost Coast?
super interesting.
Really?
Yeah. So this is one of the most geologically active places. So right off the coast of Atoll,
Uh-huh.
probably like right around here, right? If you imagine the ocean extending
Yeah.
out, is the Mendocino Triple Junction, where you have 3 tectonic plates that come together.
Uh-huh.
So there's lots of activity here,
Uh-huh.
lots of earthquakes all the time. Super high rate of uplift,
Uh-huh.
and just 3 miles from the coast is the highest peak in the King Range, King Peak,
Uh-huh.
which is 4,088 feet.
4,000 feet, just 3 miles from the coast.
Yeah, so it's super steep, it's
Right.
super rugged, and that's why they call it the Lost Coast.
Uh-huh.
Right? So when they were building Highway 1,
Right.
this little map here, which you guys are looking at, they're like,
Right.
never mind, and they just skipped this whole area.
Right.
And came back over here.
And so I've never heard of anywhere else where 3 miles from the coast you're up 4,000 feet.
Right.
That's got to be some of the steepest terrain next to the ocean there is.
And it rains a lot here
Uh-huh.
as well, and you
Uh-huh.
have those earthquakes. And then because of the parent material, which is a lot of gray lackey sandstone and shell,
Sandstone and
it's
shale.
very crumbly
Uh-huh.
and erodes easily.
Right.
Material, so
Right.
it's uplifting pretty quick and also eroding back down. If you guys do go out there, the other really important thing to know is where to go is bathroom.
Uh-huh.
So it's like it's not as intuitive as other places. Like the kind of standard rule of thumb is 200 feet away from trails and water
Uh-huh.
sources and camps. But if
Uh-huh.
out here on the Lost Coast Trail,
Uh-huh.
like I was just explaining, it's so steep,
Uh-huh.
and most of the good places to camp, really only places to camp for the most part, is at the creeks.
Uh-huh.
Because most of them you can kind of get up a little bit,
Right.
or there's some space there.
Right.
but it's so steep and rugged you can't get 200 feet away. So we actually ask people to go towards the ocean as close as you can safely get. In the wet sand, if it's safe, right? It's just as safe as you can get towards the ocean. Dig your hole there, cover it up,
and the water will eventually just wash it out.
Yeah, next high tide.
Right. Thank you for that tip. All right, so on this topographic map here, this shows the entire King Range National Conservation Area section of the Lost Coast. So this is the northern section of the Lost Coast. Here towards the southern section, you can see this says Needle Rock. That's where the state park system begins, and the Sinkyone Wilderness State Park is south of there. So even beyond this section, there's a whole southern section of Lost Coast to hike on this rugged ridge. And on this north section of the Lost Coast, which is managed by the King Range National Conservation Area, you see lots of rugged terrain. Here, north of Shelter Cove, you can see the Lost Coast Trail is actually along the beach. This is a unique trail because you actually need to time your entire adventure or else you're going to get washed up and it'll actually be completely impassable some days. 25 miles along the California coast, hiking on the Lost Coast Trail, and you need to time it all with a tide chart. A 2D map doesn't do it justice. You need to see the topography.
What's your guys' YouTube channel?
We're Squeaks and Sparks.
Squeaks.
I'm Sparks. Yeah, I'm
Squeaks and
I'm
Sparks.
Sparks. Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Empowering people to get outdoors, giving
Sweet.
tips how to get outdoors.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, brother.
And then good information too.
So amazing, and it's so underutilized, this great resource we have in the national park system and also in the BLM system, that you can pick up a phone and you can almost always get right through directly to somebody on the other line who's ready to help you and just waiting to give you advice and tips and the rules and regulations about how to have fun outdoors where you are and also explore the natural beauty wherever is closest to you. Howdy,
Really good. How are
super
you?
good. Oh my gosh, big fresh cucumbers. Oh, there's like 3 or 4 different types here, huh? Just of
There's
the,
more than that.
of the cucumbers.
Okay, I'm gonna make a little cute bag.
Persian.
Yeah, Persian and
I
Persian.
love these ones too.
Yeah.
Japanese.
And the Japanese. I've never had a Japanese cucumber before.
Well, here you go.
And they're so beautiful and so fresh. And my goodness, this
Those are
is
thin skinned.
this is so nice compared to, I mean, yeah, we can get most grocery stores.
Wow. Charlotte, these are beautiful. Wow.
Yep, thank you so much. Producer.
Good, man.
Wow, look at the big
Oh,
one.
brother. Look at these squash blossoms.
No, these guys are wasting time.
We're just wasting your time, sorry.
Which is great. No, they're wasting time in the best way.
You ever just popped a whole lemon in the rind? So these Meyer lemons, they're so good, they're just like candy. You know, just explain to us that the Meyer lemon is actually a hybrid of a lemon, citron, pomelo, and something
Yeah,
else?
it's not a true lemon. It's a citron, mandarin, pomelo cross. The citron looks like lemon, but that's why you can eat the rind.
And then so you can eat the whole thing like candy.
Yeah, they give off like kumquat vibes. Like this time of year.
Oh my god.
And the rind is a bit much, you know, you don't have to eat it, but I would.
It's amazing we just throw away so many parts of the vegetable and it's like, wait, that's such a good part. Howdy.
Hey, so they take shells from Shelter Cove and forage eggs and things too. Gosh, that's a big egg.
Those are goose eggs from a gal that raises geese in Shelter Cove.
Gal with a gander of geese.
A gaggle of geese.
Gal with a gaggle of geese. What does this one look like to you, Sue?
That looks like the state of California.
Similar, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Where did you find this one?
Find what one?
This one. It kind of looks like the state of California.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that. I
Is
said,
that an abalone?
yeah, I want to give you guys an ornament. You guys pick one out.
That's so nice.
We would love to buy this one from you if it is for sale.
We don't have one. You don't have to buy. I'm giving it to you.
You're so sweet.
Would you like to share the name of your business for folks?
It's called False Crafters.
So on Haas Crafters, who made this abalone shell California ornament, I think Shelter Cove is going to be right there on the north coast of California. But I wind all the way to the Lost Coast to find these ornaments that are made in Shelter Cove on the Lost Coast of California.